Cryptocurrency has a worse reputation than chlamydia. Rightfully so, because it's almost exclusively used for scams. But crypto is a far more potent disease. It was a plague that swept through the world back in 2021. A ton of people FOMO'd, fear of missing out is what that stands for, a bunch of their money into a lot of gobbledygook that started popping up because everyone was blinded by this idea of becoming a multi-millionaire through meme coins. They were basically just putting money into imagination. They would have been better off if they just put it in the toilet and prayed that when they flushed it, more money would shoot out of it. And while crypto has largely died out in the public eye, there are still those that swear by it. And that brings us to what I want to show and talk about today. I just found it through CoffeeZilla's second channel where he was making fun of it. There was a Sheeb commercial where they were advertising some of their new upcoming features, and I'm using features lightly. And man, it's one hell of a ride. So let me take you on this journey here.
I can't believe it, Jane. My seed phrase notebook has vanished.
Seriously? Don't you know how important they are? Be honest, you didn't even write it down.
I did, Jane. I just don't know where.
I couldn't find just the raw commercial itself. I could only find CoffeeZilla's reaction to it, so I don't know where he even dug this puppy up from because it is nowhere to be found. He must have been in the actual conference itself, like fucking boots on the ground, waiting for this to drop like a trailer at E3 or something. So, the premise of the commercial is Sheeb is a meme coin. This was actually a meme coin back in 2021, where a lot of people did make a lot of money of it during this craze, this hysteria that swept through the internet, where everyone was just putting money into these meme coins. And then it collapsed, as all of them do. But it's still around, like it still exists, and there's still a lot of holders that believe that they're going to get a bag as long as they can continue to endure it. So occasionally, Sheeb will do things like this, where they kind of dangle a carrot, like, hey, keep investing, it's look at all this cool shit we're going to be doing pretty soon. This is really good stuff and it's going to work. And this is one of those attempts to convince them that it's not all lost. But you know what is lost? His seed notebook, god damn it. What's a man to do without his seed phrase notebook being kept underneath the TV? And Jane doesn't seem to recognize the importance of this. She's giving him so much attitude over this. You probably didn't even write it down. Pardon me, Harpy, didn't even write it down? This is a 21st century man. You think he doesn't write down his seed phrases in a very well-kept notebook? No. Some kind of fucking goblin came in like a burglar in the night and must have stolen it from him.
It's about self-custody, babe. If you were using Shib, then you wouldn't need that phrase unless it was an emergency.
Shib? Wait, you mean the meme coin?
Looks like you didn't get the memo. Shib is no longer just a meme, it's a whole society, John.
Yes, John. Join us in the Shib society. We're no longer just a meme. We're the most laughably pathetic meme imaginable. Holy shit, people actually buy into this. That's the saddest part. So, as CoffeeZilla talks about, there's a lot of these meme coins from back then that are trying to rebrand themselves as, hey, we're not a meme anymore, we're like super serious. When they're fucking not. It's still just as pathetic today, right now, as it was back then. Now, I actually was one of those dumb goobers who FOMO'd into like every big meme coin back then. So I actually still have a ton of Sheeb sitting somewhere, losing value by the day. And if somehow, miraculously, this thing does ever hit 1 cent, hey, I'll be pumping my fist and say, thanks, weirdos, and sell that instantly. But I don't see that happening because there's no reason for anyone to ever own shit like Sheeb. It doesn't do anything. It's literally worthless. None of these projects ever had any real use. 99% of them resulted in just being full-blown rug pulls. And collectively, most people lost a ton of money. And everyone learned their lesson. Except for those that didn't. There are still those suffering from this disease, which I'm calling blockchain derangement syndrome, where they put all this money in, and they refuse to come to terms that it's gone, and they're never going to actually make anything off these investments. They're not fucking investments. You're basically just giving a donation to the people that made these coins, where they just artificially pump up these prices through synthetic hype, and there's nothing really there, and the number goes up sometimes, they pull out, and you lose your money again. But there's people that are still letting their mind be poisoned by hopium that one day they'll be able to turn a profit on it. So they continue to just raise their flag in support of these scam coins and try their best to convince each other, just regurgitating, puking into each other's mouth, these ideas that it's shooting to the moon really soon. And this is just another one of those desperate attempts here from Sheeb to keep the investors hooked on their drug. And that drug is just losing money. It's like the worst drug imaginable.
Jane,
Gets a notification.
the notification, it's something about your dad.
What? Let me see that.
Twist.
It can't be. Impossible. It can't be.
What's happening? I don't understand.
Hold on, let's read that. With our condolences, death certificate.
Welcome to the future, bozo. Now your meme coins can tell you when your loved ones die. So the notification she gets here is about her dad passing away, and the death certificate's been signed. So what they're the feature they're advertising with this is that with Sheeb, you can now do digital wills. So when someone dies, it can instantaneously send out their Sheeb to the loved ones in their will, which is a fate so much worse than death. So Jane's father dies probably of cringe and a broken heart from owning Sheeb, and the death certificate gets signed. So now she's getting a notification that, hey, Pop's passed away. He bought the farm. Tough luck. Here's 0.5 cents of a Sheeb. Congratulations. It's what your dad would have wanted. Died with a smile on his face for this one. He passed away, but at least you can know he didn't die holding the bag. I saw a couple people in CoffeeZilla's YouTube comments say that, and that is such a banger slogan.
My dad used to have a SHIB digital will. So the only way I could get this message, this inheritance instantaneously, is if somebody verified it.
This is such a compelling performance here from the actors, and the writing is top-notch. I felt so moved during this that I almost forgot that this whole thing is just a fucking scam meme coin. I was lost in the narrative that they were so intricately crafting. Now go ahead and wipe the tears from your eyes and join me as we break this down. A digital will for Sheeb, where there's no lawyers or anything involved, there's just some kind of confirmation that someone's dead through like a signature, I believe. So in the advertisement here, she said the only way I could get this inheritance instantaneously is if someone verified he's dead. Who? It's not like Sheeb themselves have like fucking, autopsy reports that they collect to confirm someone's dead. They don't go out there and actually send agents to make sure the person is really deceased. They're not omniscient. There's no way for them to know that. Anyone can sign a death certificate here as long as they have some connection to the person. CoffeeZilla mentioned like an estranged wife could easily exploit this. Really, anyone could exploit this. This is so huge for fraud. Like, this is a very easily exploitable feature they're trying to advertise here because, again, when it comes to something like this, there's a reason why it's so complicated in real life, not in fucking fantasy land with meme coins. Why you have lawyers and shit go through wills, why you have all of these barriers in place when it comes to these wills. And CoffeeZilla mentions that it's very much a headache, but it is a headache for a reason. It's probably a bit too much of a headache, like CoffeeZilla mentions, but there's a reason why it's not just like, oh, the signature confirms they're dead. Okay, now all your money's gone. When that person could very much still be alive. There's no way for Sheeb to know that because they don't have that capability. They're not God. They don't know who's alive or who's dead. They're not Santa Claus. They don't know who's naughty or nice. All they have are these fucking blockchain baloney where they're like, contract was signed, so, all your Sheeb's gone to like 6 other people.
Jane, it's Mum. The hospital just called. Your father.
This is
Please
so
call me
creepy.
back.
It's so weird to do this whole commercial.
Mom, please, calm down. Listen, you're tardy to the party. You know that I'm one of those highly intellectual individuals that join the Sheeb Society, and Sheeb is so efficient, so effective, They were able to notify me of Dad's passing way before you even contacted me. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if Sheeb knew Dad died even before you did. So, take your time to grieve. I already know. Thank you for calling. I'm going to go buy some more Sheeb now, because it's what Father would want.
Back from the funeral, I guess.
It feels like life couldn't get any darker.
Don't say that, Jane. I understand it's a hard time, but don't put that evil out there. You're a Sheeb holder. You've been through so much worse. The loss of your father is nothing compared to the apocalyptic crash of Sheeb from 2021 to 2022 to current day. You've been through worse. You're strong.
Hold on, Jane. Dawn follows in the darkest of night. I can't take away your pain, but perhaps I can offer you a hint of joy.
Who wrote this?
You always
I've got
know
to
how
meet the
to lift
author.
my spirits. This is really sweet, thank you.
Now, astute observers will notice that there's not any liquid in the cup. I'm almost 100% certain there's nothing in that cup. And that's by design. That's not like an overlook or anything like that. It's because that fluid, the tea that he was going to serve her, is actually an NFT on the blockchain.
You're kidding. They demonetize my yoga channel, while those bigger channels get away with the same thing. It's not fair.
That's why we can't trust with centralized platforms. That's why
What?
SHIB matters.
What?
Ship? You're turning into a Ryoshi.
The subtitles are messed up here. They're saying you're turning into a Ryoshi, who's like the founder of SHIB.
Been reading up, Jane?
Now John has fully drank the Kool-Aid. He has been fully indoctrinated into the SHIB cult. The brainwashing protocol was successful. And now he's the puppet master, and he's got Jane by the strings. This is why SHIB matters. SHIB can bring your father back. The ways of the SHIB are mysterious. It's not something the Jedi would want you to know. They have powers that are deemed unnatural, Jane. Your demonetized yoga channel? Well, that won't happen on a decentralized platform like SHIB, which doesn't exist yet, but it might. Probably never will, but if it ever did, you could be monetized there somehow through magic of the blockchain.
The blogs, the SHIB manifesto. I see the potential now. Let's take a stand here, Jane. Let's create our own decentralized yoga channel. We could likely surpass your revenue on that other platform, especially if they're going to demonetize you.
You've changed so much in just a week.
The legacy process after my grandma passing was exhausting and infuriating. When your dad passed, you got your inheritance instantly.
And that's what I cared about.
We've lost him. He's become a fully autonomous SHIB android now. And all he can do is parrot a bunch of fucking nonsense. The SHIB manifesto. I don't know what they're trying to pitch here. Some kind of platform for fucking content creators, I guess. But decentralized, because that's the number one buzzword you have to have here in order to get people hooked on it. When it means nothing anymore, it's absolute just ass wipage. When you see decentralized now, there's no real meaning behind it. It's just one of those words that's there because all of these projects have to have it. So I don't know what they're planning with this. I don't know how they're going to monetize things. There's not going to be advertisers for it right out the gate or anything. So it'd have to come right from like the fucking SHIB founder's wallet, and you're just getting paid in SHIB schmeckles. Like, you're not going to really be getting anything. So I don't know why he's saying like, you'll probably surpass your revenue. Fucking how? With what money? What advertisers? The video hosting, if that's the direction they're going, is an impossible field to compete in because of how expensive it is. And no one's going to choose to be a SHIB creator over just posting on YouTube or something. But I love the delusion of it. It is impressive.
Thanks to Dad. And SHIB.
Exactly. That's the power of what SHIB is building. That's what your dad wanted us to see.
It's what he died for, Jane. He died so we could understand SHIB.
I'm with him. Hail Shib.
I think that's the end of
I
the
love
commercial.
you, John.
Oh my gosh.
Hail Shib indeed, and God rest the soul of Jane's father. He sacrificed himself to open our eyes to the beauty and the power of Shib. Powerful. A moving story, honestly. It's very rare for a commercial to tug on your heartstrings as effectively as this has, but again, that's the power of Shib. Now, I imagine most of you are probably asking yourself, who the fuck would buy into this? Well, a lot of people. There is a ton of people. Even if you just go on YouTube right now and just type in Shib, like Shiba Inu coin, whatever, you will find so many YouTubers still trying to pump and dump this shit to this day. They also talk about having like 1 million investors in Shib, which I don't know if it's true or not, but I think it probably is because there's so many people that just get lost in this sauce and they get convinced by scumbags like them that it's about to pop off and this is how they're going to make their fortune. It's pretty sad, but not much you can do about it. It really is just kind of this groupthink where they're all in it together, so they all buy into the same fantasy and refuse to accept that it's not going to happen most likely. But hey, if it does, I'll be right on your side, Sheep, because I got a lot of that worthless shit sitting around somewhere. So if it ever actually does do well, that's cool for me too, I guess. But it shouldn't. It really shouldn't. It's worthless. It's trash. It's fucking garbage. But what an amazing commercial. That's really about it. See ya.